I'm going to talk a little bit today on the business side of things and what small businesses, when I say small businesses, businesses from 5 to 150 employees, have to worry about, things that we see at SmartPath on a regular basis that would surprise a lot of folks, and specifically why people are doing this and what you have to do to protect yourself to a degree. So we're going to cover a couple of different things. We're going to cover the #1 security threat to your business, which is something that Special Agent McNaughton and Kelly has already talked about a little bit, but what antivirus and what firewalls, those kind of things don't protect against. We're going to talk about some stuff about bank fraud, which you've probably already heard from Kelly. Just a shocking statement. That's why I put this bullet point in here the other day. Somebody told me that they had FDIC protection if they had fraudulent charges in their bank account. And I didn't realize that that was a misconception, but apparently that is a misconception, at least it was to that person. FDIC insurance is in case your bank becomes insolvent. No protection there for fraudulent charges or point of sale, credit card theft, that kind of thing. So that's a big thing. Firewalls, antivirus, you hear that stuff if you're a SmartPath client or you have an IT consultant, you hear them preach that kind of stuff on a regular basis. That stuff's been around a while, and nowadays there's other protections that you have to take too. And then also mobile phones. Everybody nowadays has an iPhone, a Samsung phone, even a couple of BlackBerries out there. Special Agent McNaughton was telling me they still use BlackBerries. But so you have your personal phone and you access your company's email on it. Well, what happens if you leave the company? It has their data on it. Is it your phone? Can they wipe off your phone? Those kind of things. Things that really you have to think about as owners and business managers. But ultimately, the whole purpose of everything today is how to avoid being a sitting duck for these cyber criminals and how to protect your bank accounts and everything else, your reputation that you've worked so hard to achieve. I was part of the Anthem hack too, and it's great. They're doing credit monitoring, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know that anybody is ever going to be able to repair the reputation damage that Anthem has after this breach. And so, what happens if that's the case in your business? So a lot of you all know me. For you all who don't know me, as I mentioned in the beginning, I own SmartPath Technologies. We specialize in computer services and making computer problems disappear, working with small to mid-sized businesses in the Western Kentucky, Southern Illinois area. So something that I heard at a conference that I went to is really a true statement. It's from the former CEO of Intel, but you can read it there. But success in the context of our discussion today is that you might not have been attacked yet, or if you were compromised, maybe it wasn't that significant. Maybe you got a virus, you got it cleaned off, nothing really happened. Therefore, because of your success in not being a target yet, you've become complacent about security in your organization. So, that's something to think about. The big thing to realize, and what Kelly has told you, what I'll tell you, what Agent McNaughton told you, is that cybercrime is a business. I mean, it is. People aren't doing this for fun. I mean, yeah, there's some, there's some kids who think it's fun to get credit card numbers and buy stuff off Amazon. That's really the very small percentage of cybercrime that's out there. It's a business. It's a big business. In some of the foreign countries where a lot of cybercrime originates, there are whole office buildings with receptionists and HR departments, whole 9 yards, that are focused on implementing these attacks against other countries, against the United States. They're not following the rules. I mean, obviously they're doing illegal stuff, so they're not following FTC rules. They're not following the law. In the old days, crime was simple. Somebody threw a brick through your window, and they came in and they stole your TV off the wall, that kind of thing. Then criminals got a little more innovative and realized, hey, I can get a lot more money if I rob a whole train of people because there's 300 people on the train. And so they started robbing trains. And that then started making a whole lot more money than just throwing a brick through a window and robbing one person. And kind of the same thing with cybercrime. Because of technology, you all use technology in your business at home. You know how great it is, you know how great keeping up with people on Facebook is, all that kind of stuff. Wonderful. The other thing that technology is wonderful about is making it able for these cyber criminals to come in and execute a large number of attacks to get 300,000, 400,000, 700,000 credit cards at once, rather than just getting 3 or 4 credit cards from, maybe being a waitress and walking away with a customer's credit card, going and writing down the number. Like I think it was Kelly said earlier, you're just not seeing that as much as you are the organizations who want thousands and thousands and thousands of credit cards, and then they can sell them all at once. So, you hear Anthem. Anthem has been the most recent one, but the Home Depot hack, the Target hack, you hear all of those. JP Morgan was a credit card hack about a year, maybe a couple of years ago. They stole tens of millions of records, around 80 million personal records. The Home Depot attack, 40 million. Target was about 56 million. It's out there. It's really out there. It's a growing business. I mean, it is a thriving business. What you don't realize is on the black market, credit card details, what are they worth? So if you have credit card details, you want to sell them to somebody, what are they worth? Around $2, anywhere from $2 to $90. What's an iTunes account worth? You all have iPhones, you have an iTunes account. What's a compromised iTunes account worth in the underground? About $8. Physical credit cards, if you can actually get your credit card and get that to a criminal, somebody will make about $190 by selling that. Card cloners can be bought from card sites like Special Agent McNaughton was telling about, anywhere from $200 to $300 to clone your credit card. Fake ATMs, they make them, and they're out there, they're in the public. A fake ATM, $35,000 or so. Anybody, this is what the thing is, anybody can buy these training, they can buy the tools, they can buy these credit card numbers. When you and I and everybody else think about internet, we think about Google and we think about Facebook, and know that you can go to Google and search for anything. Or know, like me, you can go to YouTube and search how to replace a belt on your lawnmower and watch a video about it. That's what 90% of the world uses the internet for. But there is a whole other side to the internet. It's not easily accessible. You can't just open Internet Explorer and go there to a website. But there's tons of websites that are designed to sell this stuff, to sell credit card details, to show you how to make your own or buy your own credit card cloners, to buy credit card numbers, all that kind of stuff. Big news, kind of cybersecurity news a couple of years ago, and got shut down, was a big underground website called the Silk Road. And the Silk Road was used primarily, for buying a lot of this kind of scam stuff, but also for drugs, major amounts of drugs, and any kind of drug. And you could just go on the website, log in, place an order, and there you go. Got shipped to your house. So that stuff is out there. You don't see that, but there is that side of the internet. So the one thing that we hear a lot is nobody's going to, we're small. We only have 10 people. Nobody wants to attack us. They want the Home Depot, right? No, that's not right at all, because as much as you hear about Home Depot and you hear about Anthem and you hear about all those companies have a lot of money to spend on protection. They have a lot of money to spend on offense and being offensive, playing offense to these criminals. Small businesses don't. According to the National Cybersecurity Alliance, 1 in 5 small businesses fall victim to cybercrime every year. That number is growing. You all are the low-hanging fruit, because a lot of you all don't believe you're a target. A lot of small businesses don't believe you're a target, don't have very good security systems in place, and over half of all hacking attacks nowadays are aimed at small to mid-sized businesses. So $201 is about what the cost of a lost record is. So if you lose a record, you're talking about in your cloud-based system. Reputational damage, loss of clients, downtime. The cost of a lost record is about $201. So how many people got lost in Anthem? You can do the math yourself. It's big. Lots of new malware is being developed every day. 82,000 pieces is the latest we heard. We talked about earlier, FDIC insurance doesn't protect you from bank fraud. It protects you from your bank becoming insolvent. A lot of this stuff is stuff that you heard from the other speakers too, but cancel your debit cards. They're the number one way your account gets compromised. I know that's not feasible for some people, but it really is. Like Special Agent McNaughton said, have a dedicated computer just for banking. Sign up for all the email alerts that your bank offers, and if they can send you an alert or send you an email when you have a withdrawal over $100, go for it. Require your signature for all wire transfers, and it also may help to have your money spread out in various accounts. So that's some things. Social media, social media accounts get hacked. About 600,000 Facebook accounts are hacked every day. Again, it's worth some money to people. And then there's also a lot of lost productivity with social media. That's why it becomes important not only to have a firewall to keep the bad guys out, but to make sure that your organization is being as proactive and keeping your people as productive as possible. Something else you see on social media is bad PR. So you have employees, you let them get on Facebook. This picture was actually a Burger King employee posted this on Facebook standing on the lettuce. You can imagine then the reputation fallout that Burger King got. Obviously, employee got fired. Do you want your people posting that on Facebook? If not, do you have any kind of policy or procedure that's dictating what they can and can't post? And how do you know they're not going to? Stuff you need. Ransomware, this happened to a client of ours, a new client of ours. They called us. We hadn't done business with them last week in Paducah. They lost their QuickBooks file, all of their accounting data. They had clicked on an email, got this, their accounting data was gone, and wanted $500 on a Green Dot money card to get it back. What do? You don't have a backup of your accounting data. Do you pay the $500? They ended up paying the $500, got the data back. We don't know about the integrity of it, but this is happening, and it's happening here. Like I said, it's affecting businesses in this area every single day. You hear about stuff people use Dropbox and other cloud applications all the time. Well, what happens when Dropbox gets hacked? So you keep Word documents, maybe policies and procedures in Dropbox. It gets hacked. What happens? You lose your policies and procedures, and if they're confidential, then now your competitors may have them. Now, you need policies in your business to control this kind of thing too, is the point there. Mobile stuff, everybody's moving to mobile stuff, malware. We're seeing that a lot, phones getting infected. That's going to be big in 2015. Lots of mobile computing dangers are on the rise, and there are a lot of data breach laws about stuff that you lose, that your company loses, that may be personal information in Kentucky. In Kentucky, personal information is considered first or last name, an initial last name in combination with a driver's license number, social security number, or any other information such as credit cards, access codes, passwords, etc. Spam, you all know spam. Don't open it. Don't click on attachments. So how do you protect yourself? A couple of things. Make sure you have good firewalls. If your firewall looks like this, that's not a firewall. That's a router that you get to share internet out at home. You can tell if you have a good firewall in your business because you're typically going to have a subscription expense along with that firewall, an annual subscription like you do antivirus, because the firewall is constantly updating itself against the newest threats. If you don't have a subscription expense for your firewall, that's probably a good sign you don't have a good firewall. You need to implement a mobile device policy and a personal device policy for the reason that we saw the Burger King guy, and for the reason that I get email for work on my personal cell phone. I get fired. I don't want you to wipe the pictures of my kid off my phone. What rights do you have? What rights do you not have? Et cetera, et cetera. You need to get that dictated out in a policy. Back your systems up. One thing we see people back up all the time, they back up onto USB drives, jump drives. Those jump drives get stolen. Those backup drives get lost. So what happens if you have your accounting, your bookkeeping, you do payroll, you've got your employees' social security numbers, you lose that jump drive, you've lost their social security number, et cetera, et cetera. You got to do credit monitoring, whole 9 yards. There are much better ways to back up than taking drives home nowadays. Just not a good idea. Proactively monitor your network. There are patches, like they said, there are updates. You need to know that those patches and updates are getting installed. We do that for a lot of businesses, and we give those businesses then a monthly report every month so they can see what's being done, what's not being done. But you really need to proactively monitor your network. Don't wait till something breaks and then get it fixed. That's just not good. Password policies, everybody hates long passwords and complicated passwords with letters and numbers and capitals and symbols. Those are hard to guess. Passwords like Mickey Mouse are really, really easy to guess. You know, that's just the way that it is. I mean, there's lots of tricks for remembering passwords. Use the same kind of general password with different variations. Use letters for numbers. So if you have an O, use a 0. If you have an E, use a 3. Those are some good password tips. But bottom line is you need to do something, and you need to create some kind of cyber policy, some kind of cybersecurity policy for your business. So what does that look like? Really, you've got a couple of steps. You need to do a threat assessment. What are your risks? You know, how is your systems configured, et cetera, et cetera. What do you need to change? What's your action plan? And then what do you need to do ongoing to keep that operational? So one big question, we're about done. We've got some door prizes to give out, a monitor and a couple of copies of Microsoft Office, some different things like that. But one question that we get more than anything is what should businesses expect to spend on cybersecurity and IT in 2015? I study this in depth. I study this and talk to other IT company owners all over the country all the time. In this part of the country, in the southeastern United States, you should probably plan to spend about $100 per employee per month for computer service, IT service, antivirus software, spam filtering, firewall. When you take it all, you group it all together into one lump sum, it's about $100 a month. Most businesses also need some kind of cyber liability insurance policy. That could range from $1,000 to $4,000, just depending on a lot of factors. That's something that's very important. We've got some insurance agents in the room, and that's something, if you're not familiar with, you probably want to check with your insurance agent about. So what do you do from here? There's a couple of things you can do from here. You take back all the info that I've given you, that Kelly's given you, Special Agent McNaughton's given you, and you need to develop a cybersecurity policy and a continuity policy yourself. You've got lots of great information on the slides. There's some websites that can help you do this yourself. We will do it for you. We don't mind coming in and performing a cybersecurity audit, kind of seeing where you're at, where you need to be, making those recommendations, that kind of thing. We do that all the time, and there's probably something to be said for knowing what you don't know. So, that's something that we can do. There's actually, in your folders that you have, there's a form if you would be interested in that. It's kind of an application form because, frankly, there's some people we just can't help. And so, we're not going to help you. We're not going to do it if we can't help you. But you definitely need some kind of cybersecurity plan, either yourself, we'll do it for you, but you have to do something. I mean, that's the one thing to take away from here more than anything, is do something. Change the way that your banking works. Go change passwords, develop policies, do something. The three things you need to know. If you want us to do it, I stay super busy. A lot of you all who know me know that. We can't do it for many people, so we only have 5 or 6, 8, I guess, companies that we can do it for to get done anytime this year, probably. If we do it, we'll perform a cybersecurity audit in your office, prepare an audit report for you, give you recommended changes, write your policies, that kind of thing. And like I said, we can't help everybody. So there's a form in your folder if that's something that is of interest to you. But the big thing, like I said, that I want you to take away today is just do something. I mean, the threats are emerging every day. They're out there every day. And if you're acting the same way that you acted about them in 2013, then you have a problem. I mean, that is what it is. It doesn't matter if you're a retail store, if you're a construction company, if you're a professional services company, what you do, you can't be doing the same thing you were doing 2 years ago because it's not going to work.